Greetings, everyone, and welcome back. This is Into the Nexus, the podcast all about Heroes of the Storm. I'm Garrett Weinzerl, and sitting here with me, really as always, I don't know why I always introduce it as if it changes every episode, is Kyle Ferguson. Kyle, welcome.
I like the tension it builds, though.
Oh, okay. Like everyone, are you assuming week in and week out, our listeners sit there like, is it going to be Kyle? Is it going to be Kyle? Is it going to be? Yes, it's Kyle!
Wait, I do feel a little unlike myself this week because I invested myself fully into Kerrigan.
Oh.
And it has been a wild ride.
That is unlike you.
Yeah, I've never been a big melee assassin guy. I always played supports throughout Dota, and moving over to heroes, coming from supports in Dota, playing support in, World of Warcraft, other games like that. I never really wanted to be that star player.
Yeah.
But Kerrigan has taught me a really interesting thing this week. And it's something I lost with Raynor. Because one of my thesis statements, if I were to say, what heroes work for Kyle, it would be surprisingly resilient. That would be my catchphrase. And I used to have that with Raynor. I used to be very surprising. People would go, why isn't he dying? Give me more is too powerful. Raynor's healing too much. And I'd kill him with the shots. But he lost a little bit of health this week, which just threw me for a loop because all of that knowledge I've built up over many months is different now.
I am right there with you. I'm so glad you led in with this because I, too, have been picking Raynor in my games this week, and I still don't feel like I have a good read on when I should get the hell out of dodge now.
It's tough to know, and Seasoned Marksman is getting more and more important as the pros take it more. I mean, Raynor has fallen 2.7% over this last week with just that little bit of health adjustment, and we're looking at the PTR right now and seeing a focus attack nerf coming down the line, so there's a little bit of reason to move off of Raynor. And I tried to teach myself Greymane, but it's too dangerous, really. To teach yourself quick match Greymane.
Yeah, like I said last week, I've had nothing against Raynor or Greymane. I don't think he's a bad hero. It is just not for me.
It's very dangerous, and
not my style of play.
Right, maybe I just don't have that insane part of my brain that says, Kyle, jump in. Everybody will take care of you.
No, you're in the exact same boat as I am. I don't trust anyone I play this game with anymore. I have lost all faith in every single person I get matched up with.
One of the big complaints that has continued to be placed upon Heroes of the Storm is that the way the system works with everyone sharing XP leads to a game where we have no stars. Everybody has to be a star on the team, otherwise you fail. If one person's bad, the whole team falls apart. And there's been no assassins that are able to carry that baton. And what we need in the future is streamers, big-name pro players who are amazing, awesome assassins that destroy entire teams and can make themselves really, really popular based on their skill set and not have to rely on the entire team or some sort of support system. So it's been awesome getting to learn Kerrigan because right now there's talent stack where you get all your mana back and a bit of health after you do your Ravage leap in. So you can just jump to everything. And it's so cool. And it gave me so much hope for this game because learning that, then going over to Greymane, learning this week that he lost a second off his disengage role, making him that much more viable, able to escape from what he actually leaps into, and then getting to play Li-Ming, who is just an absolute beast. And if you have the skill set to bring her, you are going to be an absolute star. Maybe pun intended with the skin they put out. I'm just so excited about the future of this game. We are getting slowly here, and even maybe Kerrigan in the past, we're getting these reset on-kill assassins that are going to give us exactly what this scene needs. I'm overjoyed, Garrett. I'm ecstatic. I'm so excited for the future.
I'm just excited for my Warriors this week, man. So I kind of just want to jump into it because there's a lot to cover. So I will follow that up by saying, let's move into news.
We're on, boys! Ha-ha! Let's liven up this place!
The moment is upon us.
Yes, I'd mana tap that.
So a lot of things happened in Heroes this week. A lot of announcements, stuff happening everywhere, including in the live game and the PTR. We decided to start off this week's episode by discussing the patch that went live. What is affecting the actual game itself right now as we speak. So we got a new balance update, and a good selection of heroes have been affected by it. So do you just want to dive right into this, or should we set this up? I guess we're breaking it up into basically buffs, nerfs, and kicking it off with a bunch of heroes that just had their heroics tweaked.
Yes.
Yeah, so the developer comments that came up about this, specifically the, 5 heroes we're about to talk about that had their heroics, well, buffed, really. The dev comments said that they were looking for opportunities to increase the impact of some heroics have at the moment they are cast. And they said that when it makes sense, they are looking to increase the cooldown in order to keep the big moments more impactful. So this is kind of a first pass on some heroics that they're trying to make more impactful when they are cast. So first up is Falstad. His Hinterland Blast got a damage scaling increase. So its base damage is the same it has always been, 411. But it used to scale at 4% per level. It now scales at 4.75% per level. So the longer to the game it goes, the more damage it does over what it previously did. However, its cooldown has also been increased from 90 seconds to 120 seconds. That's a long cooldown. That's 2 minutes.
And when we take any of these cooldown increases into account and then put it against Mosh Pit at 100 seconds, anything over that seems bizarre.
It does, right? Especially Hinterland Blast. Like, I mean, yeah, it does some good damage, but so much damage that it should be on a longer cooldown than Mosh Pit?
Right. Hinterland Blast is a great engage denier for those who know to avoid it. See that laser coming down the line and go whoop and break out so that a team can't move in good formation. Or they get hit by it, but it's not extremely powerful. So good that it's more powerful in the first place, but less casts of it mean ultimately less damage over the course of the game for Falstad.
Right. So that's the one I'm probably the least excited about.
Well, and this goes on to Arthas too. They did the exact same thing without the scaling increase, but Sindragosa now does more damage, 50 more damage from the get-go. That's all you get is a little bit of base damage, but it's increased. Cooldown increased by 20 seconds, again up to 100 seconds, and we're at Mosh Pit levels now. So is Sindragosa a Mosh Pit level ability? Not really, but okay.
Right. I mean, I like the idea here. I'm not sure I agree with the cooldown increase. Clearly, I feel that's why in the dev comments they felt the need to kind of preface this entire section by saying, we did this. This is also why we did this other thing, meaning the cooldown increase. But I don't know. Yeah, it's like, I love Arthas. And I like the idea that Sindragosa does more damage because Arthas is a damage-dealing warrior.
Right.
But I don't think it needs another 20-second cooldown added onto it. I don't think there's an issue with Arthas out there spamming Sindragosa.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Not something...
Now, it is nice. We do have just flat buffs that are great to see. These are the two sort of mystery ones in the Hero Impact update. I mean, Sergeant Hammer Blunt Force Gun got a straight damage increase on the base, but less damage as the game goes on. 3% scaling on that guy. That's great. You know, Blunt Force Gun is a bad pick at the moment because of its ridiculous cooldown compared to Napalm Blast. If we increase the damage of it, it might become viable. But, you know, we don't want that thing circling around the world 100 times with increased damage in the late game. So they did a good job scaling it.
Its base damage, though, did get significantly increased from 365 to 500.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a drop in the bucket.
So,
nope. ETC Stage Dive got a buff. Damage increase from 155 to 201. So the base damage. The scaling stayed the same. Still increases at 4% or 4% per level. So that's fine. That's great. I still don't think anyone's going to take Stage Dive over Mosh Pit. Except in
with this little bit of damage, we could see like Bronze explode in ETC Stage Dives. How often are they going to land good Mosh Pits?
That's a good point. Well, actually, yes, probably that's a two-sided sword, right? Because if people aren't moving out of the way, the mosh pits you do land are probably the most incredible mosh pits we've ever seen.
Fair enough. But then there's no team to back them up when they land these sweet things. Or they power slid in, got the stage dive well outside the range of their team.
Right. But the one I'm most excited about, Kyle, is Johanna. Falling Sword got a buff. Its cooldown has been decreased. And you no longer have slower movement while airborne. So you can move around as fast as you do normally while walking.
Now, I read this different. No longer slows movement while airborne. I thought that was because it did some sort of slow effect, but you're the Johanna here.
Right. Am I mistaken? Because believe me, I haven't taken this damn talent until this week.
And why would you? The fact that Johanna disappears from the battlefield is an extremely dangerous thing, particularly with like a Morales healer.
It's something I forgot about, and you got to see it in action yesterday. We got into a game yesterday, went into quick match. We're not doing this weird stuff in Hero League, and I was like, oh no, man, I want to try Falling Sword. I want to see what it's like now, because I always really liked the idea of Falling Sword. It's an incredibly fun ability. But no, I mean, again, I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive when you would steer your landing location while you were in the air that it moved slower than your normal movement speed.
You're absolutely correct. I just looked that up.
Okay. I was trying to quietly look it up too, but I couldn't find confirmation.
My Google foo is more powerful than yours.
I've never refuted that. So I'm happy about this. I like because this, you kind of it's disruptive when you come back down and you jump everyone up in the air and screw with whatever they're currently doing. It's fun. That said, though, if you're solo tanking, I still don't think this works.
No. Unless you're using it as some sort of kind of like full support, solo support monks end up taking the 7-sided strike as an excuse that they've bitten off more than they can chew and they need an emergency button. I can see this being used for those style of players who maybe aren't ready for something as important as Blessed Shield.
Yeah. Now, the quick match hero in me loves this for cleanup because I've never felt as badass as Johanna as I did in our game yesterday when I got to clean up engagements with Falling Sword. As people were trying to escape with little life, I would just fly up in the air, come back down on top of them, and kill them as Johanna. It was like a Gundam just showed up and started throwing down. I loved it.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That was just a delightful game we completely owned.
Oh, we destroyed. We absolutely destroyed. But really, I mean, I wouldn't take that that wouldn't be my goal by taking Falling Sword. If I'm having to clean up as Johanna, things aren't going the way I want them to already.
No.
So I don't want to have to chase people down as Johanna. It's not my job.
Good to see a lot of these changes. Bizarre to have Falstad Hinterland Blast up to 2 minutes now.
Yeah. Same with Syndragosa. I don't know why that's up to 100 seconds. Blunt Force Gun absolutely needed a damage increase. That is just no reason to take that heroic. Makes sense there. Stage Dive, cool. Yes, needs a buff. I'm not sure it's enough of a buff to make people take it, actually.
But hey, I lost maybe less than 5% of my Rainer health, and I'm dying all the time this week. So maybe what is this, a 50 damage increase on Syndragosa? That might win a game for some people right now.
Yeah. And I'm anxious to try that one, just to see how it feels. If I feel like I'm actually engaging and bringing enough damage on the end gauge as Arthas to swing the engagement. But honestly, I'd rather just have a mosh pit.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we'll see. Let's talk about who got buffed, because the answer is Greymane. Just Greymane got an overall buff, and had a lot of things changed around. His health has been increased, but only on the scaling. His base health is the same, but it scales now by 4.5% per level rather than a flat 4. His health regeneration has also been increased. Again, the base level same, but the per level scaling is now up to 4.5%. Ghanaian Cocktail had a mana cost reduction, so it's now only 70 mana. A second has been taken off of its cooldown. It's down to an 8-second cooldown. And the Perfect Aim talent had its mana restoration decrease from 60 to 50.
Sure, to be in line with the 10 mana you're saving anyway.
Right.
So a buff to Ghanaia's Cocktail, for sure. But everything else kind of got changed around. Like, we lost the downside of some of our Razor Swipe talents. The Inner Beast got fixed, so you can no longer spam it accidentally and blow half your mana. And it restores a little bit more mana. But the main thing here is Dark Flight, which turns into Disengage in Worgen form, has been reduced by an entire second. This is extremely important.
It's great. It's great. I had a bad day in Hero League overall, but I will say I had in one of those bad games, it was the Greymane. It was not his fault. Oh my God, man, he was engaging like a madman and getting out of the right second. It was a thing of absolute beauty.
And we need players. We need heroes like that give those opportunities to players so they can become these stars, so they can carry games. It's so frustrating to be a hero who doesn't have one of these at all. Like Butcher, for example. You know, I'm talking about Li-Ming coming out. I'm talking about Greymane. I'm talking about Kerrigan. These heroes that reset, get their mana back, cooldowns reset in some way. But if you're an amazing Butcher and no one's there to support what you did and you kill a guy, well, you're just stuck out there and dead.
Yeah. My camera is wigging out, and I don't know why. So we will just pretend it's not... What is going on with my camera?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm just going to be strobing in and out for the rest of the show.
Yeah, is Katie flashing the lights and getting a little...
Yeah, we're having a rave a little later. If you want to come over.
I'll be right down.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome.
Let me just catch the 6-hour flight here.
And I'm sorry. Any closing thoughts on Greymane?
It's all good.
Cool.
I'm excited.
I'm excited as well. Muradin got a very noticeable nerf. One I would say was very necessary. But boy, if the chat in Heroes is to be believed, I'm pretty alone in my thoughts here. There are some Muradin players that are very angry.
Sure, and they have every right to be.
I disagree.
No, it's their hero, man. Like,
I
that hurts.
know. I know.
And if they actually took advantage of the mini stun that was part of Avatar, they wreck things. You get in the back,
yes.
you mess up. Basically, anyone who has any wind-up Thrall on his Earthquake has a sort of like, orcish little jump he does, and if you interrupt that, no spell cast. Morales, if she gets stunned at all, mini stunned, she loses her health target. You are no longer channeling a heal. You have to recast it.
Yeah.
And this countered that completely.
You're right. That's why you shouldn't have a stun on your damn basic attacks.
I agree with you, of course.
All I'm
this
hearing...
is like the Novas in the PTR right now. They're very vocal. The nerf is not for you guys. This isn't because we hate you, Muradin, or so that your Muradin can be better. No, this is for the rest of us and our sanity.
This is for the betterment of the game.
Exactly.
You are a tank. You're already gaining an absurd amount of health with this. You don't need to be stunning people every time you touch them. I don't know. This is just my thoughts. Anyway,
importantly,
so
it needs to lose its stun so we don't have stuns spread all over the game, just kind of willy-nilly. We need to clean that up a little bit, and Cleanse helped in that direction. But also we have Haymaker. And if we give any CC to his other ult that also gives you health, Haymaker never gets picked. So it's not an ideal situation.
Right. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with the chat room. We have people in the chat room right now saying that, yes, the nerf was needed, but now it is an incredibly boring heroic. That's not untrue.
Sure, it always was, though.
That's true. I mean, is it boring?
I know that's not a great excuse, but,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I would argue that it was boring even with the stuns on basic attack. Yes, it was awesome. Yes, you felt like a badass, but you weren't actually... It's not like there was any skill involved. You hit a button and you just became a beast. Reminds me of old school bestial wrath hunters in World of Warcraft. It's like, well, you just hit a button and you just kill everything.
See, I'm just thinking of like old Warcraft 3. Like you had, Metamorphosis, Death and Decay, Raise the Dead, and then Focalumdo, and that's all it did was he got a little bigger.
Right. So anyway, in case you haven't read the notes, Avatar no longer stuns. Basic attacks during Avatar no longer stun the target. The health bonus is even bigger than it used to be, and it got a 10-second cooldown reduction, which I think is good, because if you're taking away arguably the best thing about the heroic, it needs to get buffed in some fashion.
And you can't just give it more health these days, because we are all very well trained for Giant Killer.
Right, absolutely. So I'm glad it's got its cooldown reduction. I'm glad I'm not getting stunned every time I get poked by a Muradin now.
I agree.
And I've still seen some damn fine Muradin play this week.
Oh, of course there is. And, there is now more reason to take certain talents. Give them the axe is one of them. Or any of those sort of mini stuns on third basic attack you end up stunning. That's cool. Skullcracker was completely useless if you went Avatar because you never actually connected the third basic attack because your mini stun was already going.
Yeah. So, anyways, shall we move on to the PTR patch notes?
Sure, that's all live now. That's in the game. These Wednesday updates are crazy.
Yeah, they are. I'm digging them.
Well, and they're steps, right? Like, we could have this all in one big pile wave in a month, But it's really nice we take these steps. It keeps the game fresh for one.
And it looks like there's a pretty sizable step coming if we are to take a look at the PTR notes.
Most certainly.
There's a ton of things coming. And just to preface what we're about to get into, we're going to talk about this in extremely broad strokes. We're not going to do a deep dive. We're not going to go talent change by talent change like we just did for the live balance update. We will dive into this patch when it actually goes live in case anything changes. But if past experience is to be drawn upon, which we tend to do on this show, a lot of stuff doesn't usually get changed from the PTR.
No.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see the majority, if not all of these changes moved into the live game, but we'll cover that when it happens. But there's all kinds of stuff happening. We're getting tooltip updates just up and down the board everywhere in this game.
It's a bonanza, and these aren't just for clarification. A lot of them are to clean up the various abilities that have happened over the course of the game coming out. In particular, the ones that involve mercenaries and what they're now calling monsters. And monsters are neutral garden terrors, Sky Temple guardians. Anything that is part of the PvE objective of the map is now called a monster.
Yeah, and that's an important thing to note because certain abilities will not affect monsters.
No, and one of these abilities is on Rexar, which is a real big bummer for us few and proud Rexar players.
I'm kind of sad about that too, as someone who does not play Rexar, but when I see one, I get kind of excited because it's, I don't know, for whatever reason, that's the niche hero that I get excited on when I see one on my team. For some reason, at Chen and Vikings, I'm still kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's a pretty big toss-up with those guys, but usually Rexar players are a pretty dedicated bunch. Chen, too. I think there's a lot of dedicated Chens out there. We've just been burned by a couple of ones that roll out and just start drinking in the middle of everything.
Yeah, they just, congratulations, you're dying slower. And I'm clearly wrong with Lost Vikings because while they have, I think, the least amount of games played on Hot Slogs, they also have the second highest win rate at the moment.
Right, but that doesn't mean your particular Vikings at your rank are good.
That's true. You know,
I think I heard you. No, it's okay. You can move on.
Getting mad HL flashbacks, man.
It's all right, man. It's all right.
But yeah, I read that. I was sitting there drinking my coffee, waiting for my haircut this week, and I was reading the PTR patch notes, and I was like, oh, they're changing the names of these things to monsters. Who gives a crap? And then I read a little further. I'm like, oh, certain abilities won't be affecting monsters. Okay, this is important. So, yeah. They also brought up neutral garden terrors, and I was like, what the hell's a neutral garden terror? And then I remembered, oh yeah, that's the thing I get seeds from. Never really thought of it as that. Like, I'm always just like, just kill the thing.
Map objectives.
Some map objectives. Do them now. Thank you. So, also, if you get on the PTR right now, dude, we can play Li-Ming.
Yes. And she is, in case I haven't hinted at hard enough, she's amazing.
I really like her kit.
I am having an absolute ball. I haven't been this giddy about playing here in a long time. Like, actually waiting through solo queue PTR wait times of 10 plus minutes just to play this guy. Granted, it's a crazy assassin that resets all the cooldowns when you get a kill, and there is no MMR on the PTR. So I feel like, I'm racking my brain for a better word here, but I feel like a right bastard, Garrett.
Do you?
I do. Getting in there with no MMR and just decimating fools. I'm having the time of my life, but yeah, I feel kind of bad.
I smell a stream coming where we both create Smurfs and just go be terrible people.
Oh, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yes, you
do. It's
do.
not good for the health of the game. I know I do.
You know you want it. You know you want to do it.
I'll review these replays or give a lesson to people, and I'm like, oh, if I could just spend a day where you are. Just wrecking face.
I was complaining about my Hero League experience on Twitter the other night, and I forget who tweeted at me. I'll see if I can't find it. But someone said, "Oh man, rank 39 is kind of great. You know you get into a game with 3 specialists and then you win." I'm just like, man, I want to be in that place. That sounds fun. It was at Squinty Eyes.
Well, and we're moving into a world with all these balance patches that it's a little more just nebulous, questionable. People don't really know what's good right now, finally, after months of waiting. So I'm really excited about changing up my roster because, frankly, Hero League is a really boring place for me. Raynor, Diablo, Uther, Jaina. Oh, there's no creativity there.
I feel ya. Pick Zagara every time I can. And other times I just kind of go, what am I doing?
And that's something I need to do for myself. Acknowledge that I have the skills to pull off non-meta picks and enjoy myself, regardless of what others poo-poo. Because, hey, I used to be repping the old Diablo Raynor train, but that doesn't mean much these days.
Yeah, no, that's one of the issues I'm having. Like, it's not like if I don't get Zagara, I don't know what to pick. It's that if I don't get Zagara, it means I was probably 4th or 5th pick on my team, and all of the other things I like picking are also taken. So I'm kind of sitting there just going like, I guess I get to heal or tank this game. Yay.
And I am afraid for Li-Ming, because am I ever going to get to pick her? I mean, everyone who's gotten their hands on her loves her. I haven't heard a single pro player out there who has said, Li-Ming, bad. Never will play. What'd you do, Blizzard? This is awful. No, she seems like right down a little overpowered. Now, for those of you who might be going over the talent picks, there's a lot of really obvious-looking things, and I think they're traps. I think Arcane Orb is a complete trap for everyone out there. It increases your damage as it goes towards its target growing in size. And it does a ton of damage at level 1, but it's on a 3% scaling. So the late game, Arcane Orb won't be as powerful as your other spells. Plus, people are going to learn very quickly how to counter Arcane Orb, and that's by power sliding right into her face. Because the second she launches it, it's dealing, like 150 damage. And then when it gets out to full range, it does like 477.
Yeah.
So by just staying in her face, you're basically countering her main ability if you pump every single one of your points into that thing.
It also becomes harder to land all 3 arcane missiles on one person if they're right in your face.
Right, to an extent, certainly. I mean, nothing's easier than just sort of putting it right in front of you, but there is a good chance that you're going to miss some of the outer ones.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
guys.
Hitting all 3 is problematic. Yeah, just being in your face. Well, of course, that's kind of true of any of the mages. If you're on them, you're probably killing them.
It's also interesting to note her auto attack, which is so tiny. I mean, she has a 1-second attack speed, but 63 damage auto attacks. I mean, to put those in perspective, like let's take a look at Kael'thas here. His auto attack does 87, 63. It is so darn tiny, and in order to maintain the range you have to get at to have effective arcane orbs, you are going to be constantly in the back. So a lot like Butcher, I'm expecting Li-Ming to decimate in the lower leagues because people won't understand how to counter Arcane Orb either by diving closer to it so it does less damage before it gets to you or just getting out of the way. But also, lower leagues aren't very good at auto-attacking in the first place. And she's tuned to have this really tiny auto-attack and then make up for it with these powerful spells. Same with Lili. Very, very tiny auto-attack makes up for it with Serpents.
Oh, that's a good point. Oh yeah, so I know the teacher in you, someone who coaches heroes almost full time at this point. Are you worried that the introduction of Li-Ming will make people auto attack lazy?
To an extent, I think more it's going to be like when we saw Butcher come out, where the higher leagues were like, neat. But the lower leagues were like, oh my god, please fix this, Blizzard, because it connected a hero immediately with their enemy. And they got off auto attacks. And they didn't really think about it in the lower leagues. They don't make the connection of, because I charged in, I'm performing auto attacks, which I should have been doing all along. They just do it, and the design of the character naturally leads you to those conclusions.
Yeah. I didn't even think about this. Guard Central in the chat room brings up a good point. This is the new, anti-Murky hero. She's just going to obliterate a Murky.
Oh, yes. And that was something I really got to enjoy 2 nights ago when I played Li-Ming. Enemy team had a Murky. I ended up doing as much damage as I could to the enemy group. Then I would immediately jump the Murky, get all my cooldowns, and retarget the enemy group.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of the other changes that are in the PTR. This one is especially, I'm really hoping goes live. Buildings do 50% increased damage to heroes. Yes.
It needed to happen.
Yes, they don't hurt. You already have ammunition. There's already ammunition. They can run out of ammo. That's already a downside of the towers. They also have to just tickle you.
And this will definitely drive down some Diablo win rates, which is already falling due to Tyranda's, synergies with him. But not a ton. He's actually our top win rate hero, if you can imagine that 6 months ago.
Right. And I think people are overblowing the Tyrande win rate dive, because she was above almost above 60% on hot slogs, I believe. She's just now going backwards to a win rate that makes sense.
Right, a respectable
It's not like she's down at like 40%. She's still at, I think, 54% last time I checked on hot slogs.
Oh, you ruined her. I mean, Lunara's up 66% too. So I mean, things are moving in the right direction slowly, and these pokes are certainly helping. It is important to note that this building damage is only an increase against heroes. We will not be clearing out minions or anything else like that quicker. And this is dangerous territory for Blizzard, because if you do anything else but damage to heroes on these towers, you will have longer games, and will have the exact same problem that was experienced by League of Legends, Heroes of Newerth, and Dota 2 over the years.
And even
longer matches.
And even heroes. It was something we were noticing last year during Heroes of the Dorm.
Yeah, as people got more proficient, our games went from about 18 minutes, the advertised 20 minutes by Blizzard, to now 30-ish.
Right, exactly. But I think this is smart. Like you said, it's not going to be chewing through minion waves any faster, which is good. So if a lane is unattended, it's not just going to get mowed down and extend the length of the game.
But we will have to do quite a bit of experimentation, and I'm going to have to be really careful because I dive towers a lot now. It's a heavy part of my style in Diablo. And any tank. I mean, ETC, Power Slide, Face Melt. It's what you do, and then you body block them right on their own gate at level 1. That's madness.
It is, and I just don't. But I'm clearly sitting here with the opinion that I don't think that's how the game should be played. I think if you dive a tower at level 1, you should lose that engagement. You shouldn't be encouraged to do it.
Talk in the chat just said, will this increase the picks of talents like Demolition? I think you just got, like, that just ran through the computers at Blizzard and, like, came up full screen in the lobby, and everyone's like, oh, we did it. No, I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I think
Blizzard would love if people took Demolition, but it's not going to happen. Yeah. And for those not in the know, this is a talent that burns mana whenever you auto-attack.
No, burns ammo. Burns ammo off of structures when you auto-attack the structures. Yeah, I don't see that ever working. Maybe if ammunition wasn't a thing and it worked more like Sylvanas' Black Arrow, I think that would be a phenomenal talent.
Oh, sure. But then we might be back where we were anyway.
That's true. But since
will Sylvanas see an increase in win rate as she cancels out heavier towers?
Maybe. I think
it's definitely been suffering a little bit.
I think Sylvanas is just really wishing Haunted Mines would come back.
Well, and for a possession fix, but only time will tell there.
I don't know how much I agree with that one. Possession was never really picked to begin with.
No, but it's coming into pretty sharp contrast right now with what looks to be a passive on the Necromancer that's even more powerful than her heroic.
That's a good point. Didn't think about that. But we will see. Nova's getting an all-around rework, which a lot of Novas, again, anecdotal, this is what I'm seeing in chat, seem to be heralding as the end of the hero.
Mm-hmm. So for us, of course, this is great. In general, and this is very, very general, the snipe is going to happen sooner. Basically, it'll take 2 snipes to do the same damage it was previously doing with a cooldown in between. So you'll still explode. They just have to land 2 snipes on you instead of 1.
Yeah, that does, however, give enough time that the Nova may explode between snipes.
Get targeted. We do not have the decoy build anymore where you can get all those talents stacked together, blow all your decoys at once, they do damage, and with your attack, you blow the enemy hero up. That is no longer an option at all.
Yeah, that is the cooldown's been reduced. It will be an 8-second cooldown if this change goes live. That's a lifetime for a Nova to be out in the open.
It is.
So, I don't know. I feel them there. I feel for Novas at that point, but I'm sitting here on the receiving end of many Novas going like, yes, thank you.
Exactly. And this is just really frustrating, again, for those lower league players. Those of us, up in the higher ranks, we understand you have to be vigilant. You have to keep your eyes out. You have to take counter picks to deal with Nova. But if you're just quick matching, this could be the bane of your existence. So a very cool change to see. There's a couple of talents in here that make me really nervous. One of them is increasing the damage of snipe whenever you hit a hero with it, stacking up to 10 times, I believe, up to a 50% increase in your snipe. But you know what that sounds like to me? Nova's not doing anything. Because who wants to lose their stacks? Because they all go away if you ever miss a snipe.
Yeah. Now, Can I talk about my one concern here with these Nova changes?
Yeah.
There was a time before Zeratul was nerfed where I considered Zeratul objectively better than Nova. And there was no reason you should ever pick a Nova over a Zeratul.
Because he could soak a lane, basically.
Right. Plus his survivability was higher thanks to Blink.
Agreed.
Then Zeratul got nerfed, and then I would agree that for the past few months, Nova has been objectively better than Zeratul. So with Nova getting a nerf and Zeratul actually getting a buff to his cleave, I'm concerned that we may just seesaw back and forth between Nova and Zeratul, one being just straight up better than the other.
We're just going to flip-flop. Fair enough. It's also scary to a lot of Novas to have a required pick into the Hollow Decoy, which is now your level 4. Just like Lunara has to pick a Wisp talent, you have to pick a Hollow Decoy talent. Mm-hmm. And you lose a bit of power, of course, because, all those other level 4 things have been moved around or entirely removed. Granted, I like it on a flavor aspect. Pick your favorite, and it's a very interesting way to make very interesting talents while giving choice. You divide these up, people are going to stack them all together like we have with Kael'thas, or they just won't be very creative in their picks. We have figured out the preferred Wisp talent, which is the, increased movement speed, increased sight range, but there's still a little opportunity for people to be creative. Some of these are insane, though, such as the one I fell for the most this week, which was increase the duration of Hollow Decoy by 120%. That makes me think it's real, because I've been attacking it for more than 2 darn seconds.
Yeah, but that's also, part of that is because you're a current player of the game.
Right, and
this won't affect new players, but there's a lot of people currently playing the game, and yeah, we're all going to have to learn this. And it's going to definitely going to drive me mad.
Increase the range of Hollow Decoy. I don't even know where she is anymore because I have this set idea in my head.
I'm gonna blow all of my cooldowns on a decoy now, and it's gonna feel terrible.
And I did, and I have, and charging a Nova that is not real feels real bad with a 90-second cooldown on Tyrael.
Yeah. And chat room, I know I kind of just skipped over the Shadow Assault buff on Zeratul as well, but let's just say it has me excited about Zeratul.
Right, and Shadow Assault needs a buff because the other one just gets picked.
Right.
Some of the main things about this are the range increase, which is huge. The duration is reduced, but this could be the burst he needs to take someone out. An ambush hero, and he's not fulfilling his role right now. It's more of like, I'll ambush you, and then maybe my team will be ready to kill you in 4 seconds. He needs to be able to do stuff on his own.
Yeah, he either needs to find someone at half health or really depend on his team.
And become that star player. If I were to make, a thesis statement for this patch, that's what they're doing here. Novas need to be skilled. They have to land snipes. If you miss, you're bad. And that's also leading people to do a pinning shot build. It's a lot safer, and it's a lot less explosive. So lower league heroes will have their, easier build to do without the same damage, so they're going to be disappointed.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing Penetrating Round get some damage love so that it becomes a little more important on the skill side of things as well.
Well, I've been thinking about that this week. You're taking me on a side journey here, so I'll make it quick.
It's okay. Let's take it.
Card to play? Perhaps? Might be the thing. Putting on a clinic, perhaps? We're starting to see all these assassins with reset abilities, and if they take over the meta, putting on a clinic on Raynor, which reduces the cooldown of abilities by 1.5 seconds whenever you kill a minion, could be what takes over, along with card to play. Whenever a hero dies, your abilities are reduced their cooldowns by 15 seconds.
So I'm sorry, walk me through that line of logic one more time. Why do you think this is good? You think it'll make Raynor a star player?
Because we're getting these star assassins who, after they leap in, will be able to decimate the entire enemy team one by one.
Right.
If they get one kill.
So, but I'm not understanding how this helps Raynor. He only has one damaging ability in Penetrating Round.
But Raynor has the level 20 ability of a card to play that reduces all of his cooldowns, including his heroic ability, by 15 seconds.
I don't know if I'm with you on this one.
It's not enough right now, right? 15 seconds off of a 100-second Hyperion isn't going to do much. And let's say you decimate the entire enemy team. Congratulations on your sweet free cooldown. All that isn't going to kill anybody because they're all dead. Not so hot, maybe.
Yeah.
But interesting.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. But we'll see. We'll see. Prove me wrong, Kyle. Prove me wrong.
I shall try.
Yeah. So what's going on with Rhaegar here? This is one I glossed over because I seldom play the man.
It's a big one. To encapsulate the excitement of Rhaegar players, I'm just going to pick a couple of choice changes here because there's just so much. I mean, Rhaegar players have been basically, pushed to the background by our divine heroes. And back in the day, it was Uther versus Rhaegar. Divine Shield was always better. So Rhaegar was kind of ignored. And then we got Monk, and then we got other healers, and then Tyrande took off. So nobody wanted the poor wolf man. Well, now he's getting the leap talent, the bite you in the butt talent, Feral Lunge, cooked into his basic wolf form.
Ooh. I'm really excited about that.
Isn't that cool? Just a little bit to get you in there. I am absolutely animate about every support having at least 20,000 damage when the game is over, and Rhaegar is absolutely no exception. I mean, with Storm Shields, you can top that a lot. And now you'll be able to actually get in and get a little bit of damage in. Granted, it's not like Monk where your punches directly turn into heals, but every bit of damage there is going to help win a fight.
Did you mean his lightning shield?
What did I say?
Storm shield?
Oh, gosh.
Don't mean to put a break on the conversation for that, but I was like, Storm shield. Oh, he meant lightning whatever.
Right. Yes, lightning shield.
It's called that, right? Yeah, lightning shield.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm like, Storm shield just saves butts.
I get sometimes Storm, Earth, Fire, Blood, and Thunder. I just get so confused with the orcs sometimes,
And Collie in the chat room, by the way, also says that your 20k damage requirement of all supports is a little mean to Morales's.
You mean her Gat gun isn't doing enough?
They're,
So sad.
I love Morales when I'm playing with friends and I trust them when we're all talking and I'm part of the conversation. Solo queuing as Morales, I couldn't feel less impactful.
No, but also the pro scene has not been kind to Morales' in Quick Match. It's seduced them into a more grenade-heavy build, which they do not need to be going. They need to be doing that self-preservation build still.
Yep. Agreed. So, excited for Rhaegar. And Cho'Gall got buffed. Or maybe, allegedly, getting buffed.
Yeah, to say that's it for Rhaegar is just insane. There's so much here. I mean, he is gaining a ton of really cool active talents. His healing is off the charts right now. I mean, some of these are just really awesome utility. A 5% giant killer is one of his talents, cooked into his Feral Lunge basic ability now. So your first little Ghost Wolf butt bite dive can do a 5% giant killer.
And that's just part of the basic ability.
No, you can take that later on.
Oh, you can take. Oh, because you have to spec into that.
Yeah.
But then it's still only the first bite.
It is the first bite, but, I mean, when we compare it to normal giant killer, you got to get off, about what? That'd be about 4 attacks, and that's over 4 seconds, whereas this is an instant one of those. So it would really surprise a Cho'Gall for sure.
Fair enough. All right.
It's really cool what they're doing to him. I'm excited to see what it looks like live. But yes, Cho'Gall did get a buff. And in fact, Kristen and I got in there and tried this out. We've been playing a lot of Cho'Gall recently, and it's a depressing thing to do because you just get yelled at on your team. And then at the end, they say you were decent because I did a good job and we're both top damage. But it really does feel like you're just dragging sacks of bad players down the street at times. So we got into the PTR. We tried it out. We ended up losing all our games anyway. But the damage is really nice. And the main thing is they've put Gall on a scaling regiment over 4%. So in the late game, he's extremely powerful.
Nice, which is good. Cho'Gall's still... I'm not sure he needs to be a meta pick, like a relevant hero. I don't think he'll ever get there, and I don't think he needs to be.
It's scary, right? That idea that Cho'Gall would be meta, and someone in the Heroes League would be like, dude, we just happen to be placed next to each other. Gall with me. And you're like, oh, I don't want to. That just sounds really unhealthy for the game. I don't really know how you balance this hero to a point where they're usable in the pro scene. I don't know if we want that.
I'm not sure we do. I think it's okay that he's fun. They, I don't know. Anyway,
I guess they're both he's.
Well, yes, I believe. Anyway,
They.
I really enjoy Cho'Gall. I have a very good time when I play him, especially when you're galling it up. But I'm not sure. I think I'm okay where he currently stands.
Yeah, and this buff is going to do a lot to help him stay there and counter a lot of these giant killer picks that we are just accustomed to taking right now. In fact, in most builds, because it's a passive ability, it's just the auto pick. So Cho'Gall going into any team instantly has a lot stacked against him, even in quick match, because it's so simple to find the strategy. Big health equals this.
Yeah. Well, we'll probably be talking a lot more about this next week or the week after, I would assume.
Right. I mean, to say that this is all that happened, and I'm sure there's a lot of people's favorite heroes hidden throughout here that we didn't even mention. Some of them are as tiny as them getting new range indicators or, a little bit of extra damage here or there. Losing the ability to cast stun on buildings. Uther, no! Why'd you do this to my siege spec Blizzard?
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm like, why?
Because I accidentally cast it a couple times, and this is nice.
Yeah, if anything, this is an update. Like, this is a buff.
Yeah, sort of.
I don't accidentally stun a tower.
Oh, it felt it.
Oh, did it?
There's also a Sonya nerf in here that feels way too late after the fact.
Yeah, I'm not sure she needs it.
I mean, I appreciate it. There's nothing more frustrating than getting behind. Well, there's plenty more frustrating, let's be honest. But it is frustrating when you feel like you've escaped and Sonya hits that perfect chain right into a tower, and then the seismic slam goes through the wall and blows you up. So the range decrease on that is perfectly fine by me. But the damage decrease just seems odd when we've all kind of learned to deal with it at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't, at no point have I felt like Sonya is putting out too much damage.
And it makes me sad for our other bruisers because I want to see their damage increased, not Sonya brought down to a level like a Nubarak, where you feel like you're not doing anything on the field. Yeah. Sure, you're delivering stuns. That's great. I'm just talking about damage.
Yep. Well, cool. Well, let's move on. A lot more still to talk about. The Lunar Festival is returning, or really kind of just showing up for the first time. Now, we had Lunar Festival skins last year. We had the Lunar Tiger mount, which is one of my favorite mounts in the game. But this year, it's going to be an actual event, kind of akin to the Diablo event, except it's not. We're not having a bunch of heroes released that are themed over regarding the. Actually, I guess it's closer to the Winter Veil event.
Yes, exactly. It is an event, though. The Winter Veil event came with a number of cool quests, but now we actually have a new in-game event, much like we did with the Kill the Treasure Goblin.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be starting this upcoming Tuesday on February 2nd, and we'll be getting a quest called Catch the Monkey Elder. So this will be a daily quest, very much like the Treasure Goblin, only you won't be guaranteed that the Monkey Elder will spawn in your game. It's going to be a 50% chance that the Monkey Elder spawns in your game at the start of the game. And if you kill the Monkey Elder, you will get 100 gold. Well, yeah. They say catch here. I think it's kind of mean to say kill the Monkey Elder, but
right, you sort of channel on him and stay in the cast range of it, and you end up succeeding. And it looks like you get 100 gold right now in the PTR for completing this little objective that pops up in the very beginning. 4 people can accomplish it. 3 people, given the time duration before the game start, cannot. So you do all need to work together, much like the Treasure Goblin. And hey, it's voiced by Jim Cummings, which is awesome. Winnie the Pooh.
Wait, I didn't know this.
Well, it's not advertised anywhere, but you can hear it.
Oh, because it's in the PTR. Gotcha. Okay.
Exactly. Now, he's not doing his Winnie the Pooh voice. He's doing more of a like Asian-y, I'll have your hand for a trophy, street rat kind of business.
All right, fair enough.
Which is really funny because in Pocahontas, he plays the chieftain, I believe, and then when the other chieftain starts singing, he plays the singing version of the other chieftain as well. He basically, Jim Cummings is everywhere.
Huh, I did not know that. Well, it's like in Nightmare Before Christmas. Danny Elfman is the singing voice of Jack Skellington.
Oh, that's always odd when they do that stuff, but I get it.
Yeah. Sounds remarkably like the voice actor. Like, it's at no point do I feel like it's jarring.
Sure, I don't expect that kid from Home Improvement to just start belting out, I'm going to be a mighty king. He didn't really strike me as a singer. But it's always a bit disappointing when it's like live action. Like Moulin Rouge. It's just kind of sad.
Yeah, but in Moulin Rouge, sorry, this is completely off topic, but I know Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman did their own singing for that.
It was my favorite song. It was the ringleader didn't do his own singing.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah,
That's sad.
that really bummed me out because it was so great, particularly the Spectacular.
Yeah, okay. Well, that is sad then. That's a movie that I stayed away from forever because when it originally came out, I was a young man or young boy, and my cousin Sarah just loved it. So I just assumed it was terrible because Sarah enjoyed Clueless and a bunch of other things that boys just are programmed to hate.
Oh, I can tell you in the theater department, it was completely overhyped.
Gotcha. Yeah, so when I finally watched it in like college, I'm like, holy crap, this is a really fun movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of passion in this thing.
Yeah, I like that movie. I will watch it without being forced. It's a good time. Also, one of my favorite renditions of Roxanne.
That is with that
Yeah,
voice
yeah.
he has.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So I hope everyone enjoyed this. If you haven't noticed by now, we're both kind of nerds about voice actors. Sorry, folks.
It's a cool thing to be nerdy about. I mean,
I
let's
think
face it here. Like, our Li-Ming doesn't really look a darn thing like the Diablo 3 wizard. She does look a heck of a lot like Azula, though.
You're damn right she does. And she also has a Fire Nation skin tint, which I'm so happy about.
The headdress, everything about her. Some of her lines are weird. Like, you'll just be clicking around. She's like, what am I doing here? And you're like, what?
Azula?
Don't you want to be here? Like,
I just want to go watch Avatar.
decimate them. And you're like, oh, yes. This is the hero I want.
People in the chat room are now performing Roxanne in the form of chat room text. So, damn, I love you guys. Our chat is the best. Let's talk about the thing I'm probably the most excited about, which I didn't think with all the patches and the changes and Li-Ming actually getting the trier and loving her, that something else would get announced this week that was Heroes centric. Had something to do with Heroes of the Storm that would make me more excited than all of those other things, Kyle. But we know what's happening with Heroes of the Dorm in 2016. It's coming back.
Yeah.
It's going to be on ESPN2 again. It's going to be split into 2 days. We're going to have the semifinals on one day and just the finals on another.
And it's already in full swing. Registration is open and closes February 18th. This is so awesome. It was such an awesome event. I know it was one of the first times we really got to see heroes performed in some sort of practice fashion among 5 people. I'm expecting the quality of play to be greatly increased. I got really darn far last year in my fantasy bracket for this thing because all I did was go to HotSlogs and count up how much each team actually played the video game.
Oh, I thought you were just putting all your money on whatever teams had ex-StarCraft 2 pros.
Sure, Suppy helped, right? That helped my decision for sure. But also, when I went to Suppy's HotSlogs, I found out he played this game a whole bunch compared to other players. And, they might have fantastic League of Legends accounts, but that doesn't matter here. There's so many things that are done in the names of, events or hype or charity and whatnot, but giving college tuition for a video game is one of the coolest things you can do.
I think so. I'm right there with you. I find it so effortless to get hyped about this event because it is college kids representing their school as a whole. We're not rooting for a team whose name is whoever's paying their bill.
And that's the other thing about it, too. In our professional scene, because there's so little money going around for so few tournaments, whoever has the sponsorships are winning right now, for the most part. There's plenty of upsets and cool stuff like that. That's awesome. I mean, Heroes Rising, for one. But they're going to practice all day. They will most likely win, whereas this
and also the team that won on Heroes Rising had players that had previously been on some of the biggest name teams.
Exactly. So we're kind of trading out people there. Interesting, though, to look through the old brackets and find how many people went into esports after the Heroes of the Dorm event. So this is a great way to just sort of fill out our rosters for other teams and get people picked up. Should they leave college with college tuition paid for? Probably not. But hey, if you got a budding career, go for it.
Absolutely. So over $500,000 in tuition up for grabs for the competing teams. The winning team is going to walk away with $75,000 per player in tuition. They said for their college career. So I'm assuming this is recurring for however long they are still in college, which is just nuts. Or maybe not.
Probably I'm sure there's a cutoff, right?
Yeah, no, that would make no sense. Also, God, you'd have to be going to an extremely expensive school for that to be necessary.
Right. I mean, this is the whole, you get gas for a year thing, but only if you fill up, once a month or something.
Right. No, never mind. That makes no sense. No, I'm sure it's 75,000 period, which is still, man, that's a lot of money.
And as a college student, that's a heck of a lot of money.
Oh, yes. Even as someone who went to an extremely overpriced school.
I did too. And I went to a state school, man. Those aren't cheap either. I went out of state.
Well, that's because you went out of state.
Right. No, that too.
Had I gone to a state college in Florida, I'd probably be fine.
Hey, I'm not staying in New Mexico, basically is what I got to say. I love the land of enchantment. But I had lived there my whole darn life, it felt like. I had to break out.
Fair enough. Now, I already mentioned that the finals and the semifinals will be on ESPN2, but actually the round of 64, all the way up through the semifinals, is going to be on ESPN3 this year. That's pretty great. Not to mention, it will also be on Twitch and YouTube all the way up until the semifinals, much like last year, to a lot of nerds' dismay, because there are a lot of cord-cutting nerds out there. The semifinals and finals will be exclusively shown on ESPN2. But this was the case last year. Shouldn't really come as a surprise if you've been following Heroes of the Dorm. And if memory serves, the VODs of the entire event were up very shortly after the fact.
And even that, you can get yourself a free trial account at ESPN to watch this thing with. Will you have ads? Yes. You won't have the premium sort of features or be able to multi-box whatever your sports. But who cares?
Yeah.
Just sign up with a random email, and you're good to go. You can watch the whole event.
Or bring back bar crafts. Don't have one in your area? Start one. Go to a local bar. Tell them you want to do an event. Tell them the date. Tell them the time. And get a group together. Promote it on Facebook. Promote it on whatever you want. Start your own bar craft. It's a lot of fun. You can do... if you're like me, and you don't usually follow sports... You can find out what it's like to be a normal person that on the weekends goes to a bar to watch a sporting event with their friends.
And you can really get some cool perks. I know when you set up any sort of barcraft event with Blizzard, they often send you free stuff, giveaways, trinkets, whatnot. But also, like a lot of these bartenders, when you tell them the numbers that you can bring in for the night, will make quite the affair of it and make some like custom drink. Like I went to one where they renamed all the wings for the night, like Mutaless wings and Ultraless burgers.
Yep. Us too. They did at Livingston. No, not Livingston's. I forget where it was. Somewhere up in Tampa. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I miss it, man. I think they still might be doing it, but I'm busy.
Well, there is a live event for this too, which would be awesome to catch.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. I'm going to see what we can make happen this year, Kyle.
Is it in Vegas again?
I'm assuming.
I assume too. I don't think we have an actual location, but that'd be sweet.
I don't believe we do, but I'm sure we'll find that out very soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in Vegas. I'm down.
Yeah.
Just saying. So anyway,
let's make it happen.
If you are in college and you want to sign up, go to heroesofthedorm.com right now. Registration is already open and it's running through February 18th. So you have a few weeks to get your stuff together. Find your friends that you want to go slaying with. And good luck to everyone. I'm so excited for Heroes of the Dorm. That was the event. That was it for me last year. I don't think anything out-hyped me like compared to Heroes of the Dorm. And I went to BlizzCon. I had a damn good time, and I enjoyed everything I saw. There was just something about rooting for college kids. Just got me more into it.
It's so easy. It's what it comes down to.
It's like, you go, learned children. So, I'm excited. Bring it on. Again, heroesofthedorm.com. Now, Kyle, you pointed me this story. What is going on here? The right spawn wins 0.1% more?
I know, right? It's madness. Guess what in chess? One side wins a bit more than the other statistically, and we have it now right from the mouth of Barrett, the maker of hot slogs, that the right spawn wins 0.1% more than the left spawn. Get your pitchforks ready. Everybody's a victim.
I love that this is a thing. I love it to pieces. Links in the show notes, amove.tv/ITN, or just go over to the Heroes of the Storm subreddit right now and look for Barrett777's post about hot slogs, left and right spawn, and catapult info. Wonderful. Some great stats in here. You get
In
Barrett
general,
on the show
they've
sometime.
opened up a lot of opportunities for Barrett to do some amazing things in the future. It's a rather small article. Doesn't have much meaning if you don't work with the replay files and data dig out of them. But they're adding a lot of opportunities to be able to track XP, kills, deaths, healing numbers done, even on heroes that aren't supports. Siege camps taken, stacks on your marksman over the course of all your games, what you average across different maps. Hot Slogs is about to explode with information.
Wait, oh, this is all being added to the game? Stuff that can be tracked?
Yes, it's in the game now.
Oh.
In addition to all these patch changes, the tech team for Heroes of the Storm added more power to a site like Hot Slogs to digest and pull information out of the replay files.
Gotcha. Okay, I thought you were still talking about the Reddit post, so I wanted to clear that up for our listeners.
Oh, fair enough. I get excited.
No worries. No worries at all. Now, Kyle, are you ready?
I am ready.
It's time for Dustin Browder tweets.
Right. I could be wrong.
So, Dustin Browder, as usual, has been pretty chatty this week, and there's been a lot of things to be chatty about. So, first up of note, rolling seasons, Grandmasters League, and bans are months away.
Now, when this was tweeted on Monday, this hit a lot harder than it does right now, because right now we're like, well, the game's evolving. It feels this is all good. Okay.
I disagree with you entirely.
I think we're in a really healthy place with these Wednesday updates, and the PTR is looking awesome. Li-Ming looks awesome. Necromancer looks awesome. I'm going to keep playing this game well into the future. But yes, him tweeting out that these particular features that are so high priority are not weeks away, months, hurt.
It's a lot. Yeah. This is just, for me, this is just the biggest sticking point in Heroes of the Storm. It just feels incomplete. It feels like we are still in beta, and we have been out of beta for a long time now. So, for the love of God, hurry this up. Luckily, I did get a little bit of relief by more information coming from Dustin Browder saying that bans will come first. And personally, that's what I'm looking the most forward to.
Right. It's going to mix things up. It'll feel good. I agree.
Yeah. Hero skins and feature designers are all different people. So, because I did see quite a few tweets being levied or being shot at Dustin Browder this week saying, instead of X, why don't you use your time to do Y? And he's like, listen, guys, it's not all just one big team working on one thing at a time. It's divided, and everyone has their job to do.
Yep.
So
It seems obvious to us, but people get upset. Of course, this person deleted their tweet out of an embarrassment. They were rather dogged by the community who said, you have no idea how video games are made.
yeah, which I kind of feel for that person. Like, okay,
Sure.
cool, you didn't understand, that's fine. No, everyone learns stuff at a different rate. Also, as someone who has been dogpiled on top of after having a tweet answered by Dustin Browder, I know this feel.
You can sympathize with their nightmare.
Yes, absolutely. Dear God, people come after you.
He's well defended. He's well hated and defended by the community.
Any public figure that's going to be the case for.
Fair enough.
I'm definitely on the side of defending Ben Brode when it comes to Hearthstone most of the time, because dear God, that guy gets so much flack I feel like he does not deserve.
Yeah, he does.
But it happens. It happens. But then there's plenty of people like me who defend him, so it happens. Some heroes might lose their stuns. According to Dustin Browder, we're already seeing some heroes losing their stuns.
And this was, again, another scary little tweet sent out. This would have been on Tuesday, before we got the patch live. It was Tuesday morning. So we didn't know what this looked like. And of course, my first thought is Kael'thas, Gravity Lapse, no longer stunning? Well, what would it even do? But removing stuns, superfluous stuns, let's say, just tacked on stunts. I know Murden's, I'm sorry. On abilities that otherwise perform well is a good place for those. I can't really think of any others. I mean, clearly Raynor has been targeted with his bullseye. Now twice in nerfs. Not only getting rid of the bonus damage on the ability back in, maybe September, but now losing a half second on the stun. Raynor's going a bit downhill at the moment. But I can't think of anyone else who really has a stun that would be that removable.
Right. That's just in addition to something else that is happening in an ability.
Right. I mean, we already saw that happen to Stitches. His slam back in the day used to do a full stun, interrupt everything on Earth, and now it's a 90% slow.
And even in the case of Raynor, that's a talent you're picking to add a stun as an additional effect of an ability. So the only thing you can do there is rein it in or remove the talent entirely. But if you remove the talent, traditionally we've seen other talent take its place.
Exactly.
Anyways, we'll have to see. It's the timing of that was interesting because it came out and then bam, stun gone from Avatar.
Right, and so I'm left thinking about things like Sonya's Ancient Spear that mini stuns. What if Johanna no longer mini stuns when she condemns? What if we really just divide up who has full stuns and then there's nothing else?
Yeah. At Pete_Batros tweeted at Dustin Browder saying that Sonya had a lower win rate than Kale and she got nerfed while Kale did not. Please explain if it's all about win rates. And Dustin Browder just replied simply with bigger Kale fixing coming.
Yeah, he's been getting ignored for a bit. We've all been saying that it's a bit of an issue. 80%, well, actually, a 100% pick rate in Masters League, 80% below that. So clearly he's a pretty darn good hero.
He's an exceptionally good hero. And it only got worse when Jaina got reined in.
I think, though, that Kael'thas is going to get straight up blown away by Li-Ming's damage.
I don't disagree. I'm still thinking that her lack of any CC at all versus Jaina and KT both having some type of crowd control, either in the form of a stun or massive AoE slows, will still set her apart and make her maybe not as effective as the other two. But dude, that damage output is ridiculous.
It's pretty hot.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it. How do you win? I don't know. Just kill them. I win by them not being alive anymore.
Again, working to my original topic here, it's spectacular killing. You dive in, you take, first of all,
you don't
take
dive
the talent that gives you, yes, you do. You take the talent that gives you teleport damage. It's 369 at the level you get it. And you add damage to an ability that does nothing. You jump in and you destroy people, and then everything resets.
Oh, that's interesting because just because of the way that Arcane Orb functions and the fact that Arcane Missiles has the same range, more or less, I just found myself naturally playing from maximum range as much as possible.
Right, and that's a great way to play her. And you will do awesome damage, particularly siege damage. You're entirely out of the range of towers and stuff.
Okay.
You can get some business done in an early lane. Yeah.
On the subject of Kael'thas, by the way, bringing it back around, Dustin Browder said that it looks like Arcane Barrier might be on the chopping block because someone tweeted at him, "Are you all happy with Arcane Barrier?" And Dustin Browder said, "Not really. No."
And to combine this, he's also not happy with Bolt of the Storm, which is also available to Kael'thas.
Yeah. Now that being... Do you really think you should take it away from Kael'thas, though?
Well, it's disappearing from Nova, and that's really important.
Okay.
It's a level 20 pick for Nova. She's losing it in the PTR right now. Could change over the course of the week, but I doubt it. A short-range teleport, and it is pretty darn short range in at least Blink Dagger standards. In Dota 2, there's an item you can buy called a Blink Dagger. It gives you a pretty lengthy little teleport, but it is prohibitively expensive for most heroes to get. If you do not take exact use of this short-range teleport, there is no reason to spend that much gold on getting this item. Right. League of Legends works it differently with a rune system. You pick out, I believe it's Flash, is it called? I don't know. I won't put myself on the spot like there. It's too late. I already have. But
way to go, Kyle. I can't help you.
I know. I'm just exposed out here.
You are going down a path I cannot follow.
That is an option among other options, and who isn't going to pick the short-range teleport one?
Right.
So I'll be happy to see it go. Just like Resurgence of the Storm. Bolt of the Storm is lame. could be more interesting, more flavorful.
But if you take it away from Kael'thas, you take it away from Jaina.
Yeah, and that's a scary thought, isn't it?
Both are equally incapable of escaping.
She does have her ice block, which I really like.
That's not
and
an
Arcane Berry used the exact same way, so that'll be one heck of a detriment. I still want to see a magical world where Kael'thas's are taking Sun Fury enchantment, is it? It's an awesome ability. Sunfire enchantment at level 7.
Is it Sunfire or Sun Fury?
Sunfire.
Oh, okay.
Activating your Verdant Spheres causes your next basic attack to instead shoot a spell, causing 445 damage.
It's so cool.
It's a great idea, and if you're dealing with block characters, you dodge it because it's now a spell effect.
Yeah.
For what it's worth. But that is also right up against Fission Bomb, which increases the radius explosion and damage. So who's going to pick that guy?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm curious. I don't know. Also, I would not consider Ice Block an escape. Kyle, it's a die slower if your team isn't there to help you.
Well, the way you should be using Ice Block is to dodge enemy abilities and make them whiff them. Or disengage abilities already on you.
Yeah, but I was thinking in the case, because you were talking about it, we were having the same conversation as teleport.
Oh, I see what you mean. I was combining the Bolts of the Storm as two different ideas for Kael'thas and Jaina, but Arcane Barrier and Ice Block are used the same way correctly.
Gotcha.
They're used to realize that you have this ability. Now I can overstep the tank, deal damage to the exact character I want to, and disengage safely. And on Jaina's part, which is why I prefer her over Kael'thas, I can really get out there, get really crazy, pop Ice Block, the rest of my team catches up with me, I survive, and I've baited out a lot of stuns, particularly Tyrande stuns was what I was concerned with in the past now.
And still plenty of Tyrandas out there, so...
Yeah, and of course it's a defensive ability, but let's face it, if you save Ice Block for the end of the fight, when everything's already gone wrong, you're going to die, and you're going to have to sit there for 2+ seconds while everyone dances around for you, waiting for you to come out.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So that's the point I'm making. With Bolt of the Storm gone, if they take that off of Kael'thas, I can't see a world where they don't also take it off of Jaina, and then you have incredibly vulnerable mages. Which maybe I'm okay with. I think I'm okay with it as long as that's across the board. No mage can get Bolt of the Storm.
But then you've got Li-Ming who has it on a basic ability. Very short range, though. We're talking like a Tychus scoot over of range on that teleport.
I've been calling it the super juke.
Yeah.
Because it's just like if you're trying to fight a Li-Ming and you're trying to hit her with a skill shot, like just she can juke like none other, thanks to the teleport, because it is a small amount, but it's absolutely big enough to get out of the way of a skill shot.
It's like, doing a dance, but then you could do a dance while playing a kazoo. Like, it's that little bit extra. Sure, you could just take a step sideways to dodge the ability, but why not teleport, huh? That looks great.
Well, it's also good, too, because, I mean, how many times have you been hit by a skill shot because you're in the middle of a cast animation?
Right, for sure. No, the hard thing about the teleport on Li-Ming is it doesn't go over most walls. Tiny walls, sure, but any sort of bushied walls.
Yeah, incredibly unlikely they're going to be able to escape from this.
Yeah.
I mean, if you start to lead the fight early enough, it can give you just the precious amount of space needed to mount up and then actually get out before a ranged character hits you and dismounts you. But oh man, you have to be very, I don't know, probably more trepidatious than a damage-dealing hero should be.
And that's why you take Calamity, giving it damage. That's why you take Cannoneer at level 13, because every time you teleport, you're getting one of these stacks to increase your basic attack damage.
I'm very curious to see how this pans out for you in Hero League.
I'm excited. I know I'm going to face a lot of resistance. Not from just people not liking her. I think everyone's going to love her too much, and I'm going to have to wait a good month until people move off her again.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, if you're playing Hero League and you get first pick, it's on you, buddy.
Yeah.
But, all right, that's going to do it for Dust and Brighter Tweets. Let's thank our patrons. Let's just take a second for that. Patreon.com/ITN. That is where you can go if you want to support Into the Nexus. And we really appreciate everyone that does it. We just had our call-in episode yesterday. We are doing one of those every month now as a result of the support from our patrons. So thank you, guys. And on this episode, let's thank Mike C., Jason C., Adam, Ryan, and Brandon H. Thank you guys so much for supporting Into the Nexus. We truly do appreciate it. And thank you to anyone else who signs up this week. Had quite a few people sign up last week, so thank you, everyone, and welcome.
That's awesome. And for those of you who may not be in the know, or you were a patron and you just catch this main show, we put up a pretty darn awesome Tassadar training session last week.
Yeah, we did, and that's for patrons only, so go check it out. And also the after show games. So I feel like we don't mention them enough. We stick around after the live recording of the show every Thursday night after our 8 p.m. record time, 8 p.m. Eastern, and we do 1 or 2 games with patrons. We just pull them out, and we have a good time. So give it a look if you like the show. Now, let's take some emails.
Darkness stopped calling.
Does anyone else hear that buzzing?
Hold on. Darkness just texted me.
At least Darkness didn't sext you, because that would just be creepy.
That's true.
Yeah.
And also poorly lit.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you wouldn't know. I guess.
You wouldn't know what you got. But if you ever get a picture that's entirely black, it's Darkness texting
And
you.
and it's from Darkness. I mean, if Darkness is in your contacts, I would assume you would know who it was from at least.
Sure. Of course.
So you just assume Darkness. Are you really?
Damn it, Darkness.
Damn it, Darkness. Anyway, our email today comes from Junis Hall. And Junis actually tried to get into the call-in episode yesterday and was like a second too late. So I said, Junis, send your questions. We'll make sure to get him in the show. So Junis says, hey, lads. Question 1. I ended up playing Heroes of the Storm completely by accident at a LAN party. I fell for it, and I fell hard. How about you two? I know that at least Kyle was into MOBAs before, and that you two have been fooling around with Blizzard games quite a bit. Was it just checking out Blizzard's latest game, a drunken night with some video game experimentation that led into a serious gaming habit? A dare one of your mates made, or what? No, I think we were both pretty on board from the get-go, from the first moment we saw Blizzard All-Star, or Blizzard Dota. And then the second time we saw it, Blizzard All-Stars. And then the third time we saw it, Heroes of the Storm. We were pretty smitten by this game. I mean, Kyle, you were all in, as Junis said. You were into MOBAs. You've been into MOBAs since the beginning, since the Warcraft 3 mods.
Yes, very beginning.
I myself have been incredibly trepidatious of MOBAs and historically have hated them because of the communities for the most part. They're not new player friendly in any way, shape, or form. And because of that, that actually made me exceptionally excited for Heroes of the Storm, because in my brain, I didn't even take into account all of the stuff that they were spinning, all of the stuff that they were selling. That Heroes of the Storm was going to be a game that didn't have all the strange artifacts and stupid rules that other MOBAs have, because it's just history at this point. It's been since the beginning. That's how the game is. That it was going to make sense. That you're going to level together. That you should just kill things because they're there and you should kill them. You don't have certain people that are the designated kill stuff dudes. I didn't take any of that into account. I literally was just excited because, it's a new MOBA. I can get in at the ground floor and everyone will be new players. That alone was enough to get me excited, Kyle. Not to mention, I got to play Arthas. Really, it just came down to I got to play Arthas.
Well, and we toyed around for quite a bit with a Dota show that we were going to think about doing. In fact, we had a really cute name for it, Secret Shop.
Yeah.
And I was really excited about it, but there was just such a barrier to entry. One, the community is very toxic to particularly newer players trying to get into this game because we're going to mess up their games or something along those lines. I wasn't one of those newer players, but it was just a well-established game. So we hear Blizzard coming down the pipeline, and we're already making jokes. I mean, Blizzard lore is like Star Wars at this point. You can just insert characters and have a good time in a conversation. So the fact that all of that was coming together into Heroes was just too awesome. And you brought up the simplicity of Heroes, but it can't be said enough. I tried so hard to get people into this game. I mean, you, Ben, my friends through college, like I got you guys in a little bit, but it was still like not a game you would play for fun. Maybe when you felt like playing StarCraft because you wanted to work hard, but then you didn't want to control that many units. Like it was still a try-hardy game for you guys.
For me, I never had the drive to play Dota alone.
There you go.
Ever. At no point. And I definitely have that with Heroes. Granted, lately, that desire has been dying slowly. But it's just, I have that itch. This is a game that when I'm just sitting doing nothing, I'm just like, ooh, I really want to play some Heroes right now. I don't have to try to follow this game. There were points when we were doing StarCast where it's like, man, I'm kind of burnt out. I really gotta. It's like a job, and at the time we were not getting paid to do it. It was exceptionally hard. But with Heroes in Hearthstone, it's just I get little periods where I get burnt out, but nothing like some other games.
Well, one of the coolest things about Heroes, as it stands right now, this could change in the future, particularly with all these assassins I keep talking about today, is I've been watching on Replay Fridays, a little stream I do on Fridays. We've been watching pros play their games, and we've been setting it so we can see their camera angles and really analyzing what they're up to. And despite having, teamwork and an effective team that's moving with them and, all these sort of team-based things, individual Heroes players are not doing anything that's going to blow your mind. They're not impossibly skilled beyond you. You can perform the feats they can, unlike StarCraft, which is one reason why that esport is still just top-notch to me. Because anytime it comes on, I'm like, these are gods. Yep. And I will never perform what they can. It's like watching football and a bunch of guys slap into each other, or flipping over to the strongman Olympics. Like, sure, those guys in football are strong, but that guy's caper tossing, and that's a feat.
Kyle makes references I don't understand.
You've probably seen it's the big guys, and then they run and they toss a tree as far as they can.
No, I've never seen that.
Caper tossing.
Actual trees.
An actual, most of a tree.
Huh. I should watch that. That sounds really entertaining.
The Strongman Olympics in general are a lot of fun to watch. The fingers are really fun, too. You have to take these, basically 5 trees and flip them over. It has to do a lot with trees. Scottish tall guys like flipping trees, I guess.
That sounds so much better than the competitive CrossFit competition I accidentally saw last summer when I was on my way to Key West and it was just on the TV. Because I was watching all these things. I'm pretty sure all of these things have been made up on the fly. None of this makes any sense. What are these people doing?
Well, that's CrossFit's a 4-letter word in this house with Kristen doing all her athletics.
Ah, gotcha.
You do basic curls, but then you tweak your ankle at the same time? You just invented a new CrossFit exercise.
Oh, cool.
Put it in a book.
Well, you know the joke, right? An atheist, a CrossFitter, and a vegan walked into a bar, and I only knew because they wouldn't shut up about it.
I like that.
You've never heard that one before.
I've never heard that, no.
I
have heard, how do you know someone's vegan? Because they won't stop telling you.
Gotcha. Yeah, I heard that over Christmas break, and it slayed me. So thank you.
Right, and I'm not trying to poo-poo anyone's workout regimen. It's awesome if anyone is working out when there's so many wonderful distractions like Heroes of the Storm to keep you at your computer. I'm right there with you. Fair
enough. Yeah. I'm just saying I was very confused by what was on display. So. He had a second question. He said, when getting new people to play the game, what sort of comps would you suggest? I don't mind throwing them a €20 Blizzard voucher so they can buy the hero they like and maybe a skin as well if that means I get to spend time with them. I'm just not entirely sure who to suggest. So it goes on for a while, but that's the gist of it. So how would you get new players into the game, and what kind of comps would we suggest?
Well, we've gone over what sort of heroes are adept at teaching players to use them, like Li-Ming.
Yeah, I think any healer in general, because you're. I think if your friend, if it's just one friend, if your friend doesn't really have an idea of what they want to play and they're just interested in learning the game, I think suggesting a support and then you playing something that they can follow around and heal is kind of a no-brainer. Because they'll learn how to. Just by following you, they'll learn how to move through the game, which I think is the most stripped down you can make the learning experience. I think it's like, just follow me, keep me alive, attack things. Simple enough. But not everyone's going to want to do that. So I definitely like to ask people first, like, almost like D&D, who do you want to be? What do you want to be? What do you usually like? Want to be an archer? Do you want to be a dude with a sword and a shield? Do you want to be a wizard?
Exactly. That's where I normally approach it from, because I want them to be passionate about this game in the end, so I want to figure out their fantasy.
Right. We've talked at length on this show. We've made the same analogy to World of Warcraft, where we all forced that one friend to fill that slot in our raid team and ended up ruining their first experience with World of Warcraft.
Yep, sure did.
I think we have both come to the conclusion now that we should try and encourage whatever nerdy tendencies are within our friends' minds so that they also have a good time.
And Heroes of the Storm is in a unique place that the majority of people who are aware of it are already Blizzard fans. They're coming over from other games. And a lot of those are going to be World of Warcraft. So they already have, most of them, it seems, when it comes to team games, a lot of them say, I'm tank or I'm support. Very rarely do they really want to get into damage after coming from those other games, which is odd. There's plenty of damage classes, much needed when you get into raiding and stuff. Only a couple get to really shine as the tank or supports.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say once you figure out what they want to do, which is probably one of the most important first steps, you then need to help them figure out a way to actually accomplish it that is easy. And one of my favorite heroes to describe this with is Falstad. Because you'll go onto Hot Slogs and you'll look up Falstad and you'll see a Hammering build. Well, guess what? Hammering's really hard to hit with if you're brand new to this game. You got to shoot it in a line, it has to come back to you, and then you need to execute a number of things reliant on talents to actually take advantage of the talent build you're going with. Hammer time. You have to auto-attack them after they've been hit by Hammering. That sounds impossible for a new player. Auto-attacking in general is a very tough idea for new players. So when it gets to Falstad, if someone wants to learn Falstad, dump everything into Lightning Rod. It's so easy. It gives you a little circle. You just need to hang out by the person. It teaches you some decent positioning and to barrel roll aggressively after them.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Now, granted, his question was really just based around comps. So I think if I were to put a bow on my suggestions, I would say let them pick whatever they want to play, and then just pick something that you think will be fun to play with them. Because if you're both having a good time, it's not like you're going to take them in the very first game into Hero League, and it's all try hard and you got to win. No, we're going to lose points. You're probably going to do an AI game, and then you're going to probably move into quick match, and it's all for fun. So as long as you're having fun and they're having fun, it's going to encourage them to want to learn more about this game by themselves.
Now, if we were to go a little deeper, I'd say let's all pick heroes with similar movement speed abilities so we don't outpace anybody. If you are
don't have them play Brightwing while you play literally any other hero.
Right, or don't give them, let's say, for instance, how about, so we give them Uther, and we'll give them Zagara. And then you go ETC, and you constantly are diving miles out in front of them and getting sweet mosh pits that they have no idea what you're doing, and they're nowhere close to you.
Yeah. So, but I mean, really, it's just like healer and someone else is a safe bet.
Right, and my philosophy is always like, hey, would you like to try this game? And then at about half an hour, I just sort of melt into the background and let them do it. And I don't watch because Kristen's gotten into Hearthstone recently, and I got to be careful, man.
I'm in a very similar boat. If Katie, who's not nearly as avid of a gamer as myself, she gets into something, I just need to walk away because I am programmed just in my brain to micromanage like people who play games. Like, oh no, well this card, you could do this card or you could do that card. It depends on what they're about to play. I mean, it's turn 3. Oh wait, you're rank 25. I have no idea what their deck is. My opinion is invalid.
Right, and sticking around to teach them that it's a game of math is a great first step, but you can't micromanage them. And that's something I learned from growing up with a little sister. Mm-hmm. I taught her how to play Halo, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering. Of course, we played Mario stuff, but those weren't sort of hardcore games at the time. We even played StarCraft a little bit. And she's a jock through and through. But you just limit the information as best you can and know when to walk away.
Yeah. I don't think Katie would be offended hearing me say this. Katie has no issues at all telling me what to do. She hates it when I tell her what to do.
We all take things different ways.
Yes. She does not like being tutored by me, which is fine. It's funny because back in school, she used to actually tutor me. I was very bad at math.
Nice.
So, anyways, that's going to do it for emails. Thanks, Jonas. Once again, send your emails to itncast@gmail.com. Let's wrap the show up. Thanks again to our badass patrons. You can too become an ITN patron by going to patreon.com/ITN and giving whatever you would like. A cent, a quarter, $1, $5, up to you. Also, thank you for the iTunes reviews, everyone. This week, thank you to Frosted Steel, Bose Socks, 1149. I don't know. Bose Socks. That's how I'm going to pronounce that. Greg's and Ham. Love that name. And Lily Stormstout. Thank you guys for the 5-star reviews. Also,
Thanks,
Lily, thank you for keeping me alive. I appreciate it.
It's going to get so hard, man. Rexar, Rhaegar, Johanna, Jaina, and now we got Li-Ming.
Oh, yeah. Whew. We're going to have to get a new soundbite of Patrick Beja going, I like Li-Ming.
Please do.
That's what we're going to have to get. I'll see if I can bait it out of him on the next Overwatchers.
Yeah, please. No, like, don't ask him to say it. Just ask leading questions.
Hey, Patrick, I know you've been playing Lily. What do you think of Li-Ming? And just see if his brain just gets jarbled into that tunnel. Okay. He's probably listening to this, because I have heard that he does from time to time listening to the Nexus. So.
Oh, it's been great seeing him tweeting. I know I go off on this a lot, but gosh darn it, man. People into MOBAs, this is a fantastic time in my life.
I know. You've been waiting your entire life for this.
Pretty much.
Kyle's a happy man, everyone. Now, if only Kyle would actually play MOBAs with his friends. Oh, burn. Into the Nexus is produced by amove.tv and our Patreon producers, Declan H. and Cheesy Bob. Thank you, guys. You can see more about this and all of the other shows on amove.tv. Catch the live show Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/amovetv and on alphageekradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at ITNcast, on Facebook/amovetv, and at itnpodcast.reddit.com. Finally, thanks to Brian Griffith for our intro music. Check out his work at briangriffithmusic.com. Kyle, where can folks find you?
You can find me at Kyle Ferguson. That's where I offer Heroes of the Storm lessons and the new replay analysis lessons that I can give without any sort of meeting. You just shoot me over the replay, and I'll shoot you back a pile of information to help you out. There will not be a replay analysis tomorrow. I am busy. Work has come up, so we'll be skipping that this week. But we're mid-patches anyway, so keep sending over the replays, but we'll get back to it hopefully next week. And then, of course, solo Q&A on Tuesdays. And Tuesday's the best day for it. We had a normal solo Q&A, but then, of course, the PTR went up, so it turned into a Li-Ming episode. Check that out over at youtube.com/c/Kyle Ferguson.
Nice. Find me on Twitter at GarrettArt, at nomoonart.com, doing graphic design and all of the podcasts I do on amove.tv. I would recommend Let's Talk About Star Wars with me, Jenny Josephson, and Tom Merritt. We just put up a new episode. Kyle, man, it feels weird to say this, but that's quickly becoming my favorite show. And it's got nothing to do with you, got nothing to do with Hearthstone or Heroes. It just has everything to do with that Star Wars is the greatest thing ever created by man.
Sure. It's pretty much a talking point every day.
Yep.
There's no reason not to talk about Star Wars.
No, there's really not, right? What's on your mind about Star Wars today, Kyle?
You know what? I haven't thought about Star Wars today.
Oh, my God.
My God.
We should rectify that immediately.
I should listen to the episode right now.
You should absolutely listen. It's just a lot of fun. It's great. It's literally sitting around and talking about Star Wars, so it's a good time. And just because we aren't running ads at the top of the show anymore doesn't mean you shouldn't use these codes. Use the code ITN over at doghouse-systems.com to get a 120 gigabyte solid-state drive added onto your rig. You can also use...
Oh, you know what? I did think about Star Wars today. I did, because the third skin tint for Space King Leoric is Boba Fett colored.
Did you just say Bubba Fett?
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. So like Boba Fett's southern cousin.
Bubba?
Bubba?
Bubba.
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 Like walk away from the banjo music, Bubba.
Bubba? Is that... No, I'm not trying to repeat the same thing over and over. I'm trying to say it correctly. Now, what is it?
I say Boba. Boba Fett.
Boba.
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're saying Bubba Fett.
Yeah. I like Boba Fett.
He no good to my dad, Vader.
And you are combating some 15 years plus of saying it that way in my head. Yeah, hey, you guys will notice out there, and this was for you, Pina Colada, that I said Hero League today. Multiple times.
What do you usually say?
Heroes League.
Heroes League.
Yeah.
I've never noticed that, nor do I think I would have.
I know.
All right. Well, whatever.
But you know what? When you're dyslexic and you read things wrong, you often say them wrong.
Yeah, you do. Because that's how reading works.
Because you say it in your head. Though Snape was spot on in the movies. Sound exactly like I wanted him to.
So you basically just inflected Snape as Alan Rickman?
I think I cast it in my head, yes. But I was also a pretty big Galaxy Quest fan.
Was perfect casting.
Yeah.
God, rest in peace, man. I'm so sad about that.
I know, man.
Sad days. Sad days.
You were wrapping up the show.
There's no way to transition into Tweaked Audio naturally after being sad about Alan Rickman passing. So I'm just going to say go to tweakedaudio.com, use the code ITN, get 30% off your entire order, not to mention free shipping on top of that. So check out Tweaked Audio. We thank them for their support. Check out bit.ly/amovestore for Into the Nexus coffee mugs, pint glasses, wine glasses, vinyl stickers, all made by Barbecue Master, one of our listeners. He hand engraves them. It's not just like a decal stuck on a coffee mug. These are hand etched. They're so nice. So check out bit.ly/amovestore and get yourself some sweet ass swag. That's going to do it for this episode. See you guys next week, where hopefully we'll be talking about Li-Ming releasing and breaking down a massive freaking patch. And also freaking out the whole day leading up to it, going, how are we going to make this interesting without reading bullet points? But we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we've done it before.
Yep, that's going to do it. Good luck and have fun, everyone.
Take care.